On behalf of all of us at IIITB, let me extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Alok Pandey. Dr. Pandey did his graduation in Mechanical Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Allahabad in 1992. He completed his doctorate from IIM Bangalore in the area of corporate finance in the year 2009. He is presently the Director, Financial Inclusion in the Ministry of Finance. He is also the Additional Mission Director for the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which is a flagship program of the present government and seeks to provide all households with banking services by 26 January 2015. This Yojana was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on 28 August 2014. He has been a board member of Indian Overseas Bank since July 2011, where he has contributed to the highest standards of corporate governance. Prior to working in the Ministry of Finance, he has worked in India Post, where he was the director in charge for 12 districts in Gujarat, where he promoted financial inclusion through the banking and insurance schemes of India Post. Moreover, Dr. Pandey is a diligent researcher and has had several publications to his credit. The thesis submitted by him has been selected for NSE Award for the best thesis in financial economics for the year 2013. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir. I invite Dr. Pandey to address the gathering.
Madam Maithili and Shri Ramesh Srinivas, Professor Sadagopan, Professor Shastri, Shri Baligar sir, Shri Akhtar sir, and my dear friends, I feel very humbled, sitting in such an august league, and I don't know why Professor Sadagopan called me, but he had some reasons. And the difficult part was that he sent a mail yesterday saying that this is going to be a fun address, so which makes it all the more difficult. And he repeated it before we came upstairs. So how to make it? I'm not like Professor Sandeep Shastri, who can make it, as exciting as he did. Neither am I like my two predecessors, who have had the wealth of experience to share with you with regards to your own institution. But what I have is that, I was a student 5 years ago. So I have some insight into the minds of young students like you. And I'm going to talk something about that. I would talk about something which professors always teach you that they don't matter, but all the students know that they do, and these are the grades. At the end of the day, every professor will tell you, well, grades don't matter in life, but they do matter in the institution in which you are studying. So I'll relate to you an anecdote. When I entered in IIM Bangalore in 2005, there was this called Business, Government and Society. It was being taught by Professor Rishikesh Krishnan, who is now the director of IIM Indore. And I thought I was ideally placed for this kind of a course because I was in the government, having spent 10 years there, and this was a business school, and I thought I was pretty well connected to the society. So all the literature and everything else that was going on, I was really paying a lot of attention to this course. And the mid-semester exams came, and sort of across 4 sections, I was the topper. And at that point of time, I was 34 years old. So all the 21 years old sort of looked at me and said that this fellow is going to be a threat to us. And from that time onwards, but I continued. I mean, I sort of and this till the midterm exam, it was a closed book exam. So we were supposed to, remember a lot of theories on, why business should be different, why government cannot interfere in business. A lot of researchers across the world have different ideas. So all this was going on, and just 2 days prior to the exam, and I thought, I had got a very difficult sort of set of circumstances before coming to IIM Bangalore. I was married with 2 kids, and my daughter was just about less than a year old, my younger daughter. So I had written the CAT in those circumstances, and it was very difficult for me to. And on top of that, I was told that because I had taken study leave, that if you don't get a 2.5 on 4, you will be asked to go back. So it would have been very, very sort of demeaning to go back to the government saying that I couldn't qualify the first year. So I was just harping on this particular subject, that this is going to get me an A. Now 2 days before the exam, naturally, younger students, they had not prepared it as well. So they sort of, in the class itself, they just lobbied and they told the professor that it's very difficult to have a closed book exam. And so the professor also agreed, and 2 days before the exam it was made an open book exam. And I lost my point of competitive advantage then and there. The point that I'm trying to make to you is, you need not only be hardworking students, you also need to be smart students, which I'm sure you are. But this is what, it keeps happening with all of us, that you feel that you are going very well in particular area, and then you suddenly realize that you are not so good. At the end of the day, I ended up with a high B but not an A. The second thing I would like to share with you is about your jobs. Ultimately you will use some of these high grades and other things to get into very good jobs. Some of you will start your own industries, and you will realize very soon, friends, that life is non-linear. Now, if you have got good grades, it doesn't mean that you are going to do well in life. Of course, you will start with some advantages, but then it doesn't always mean that you are going to be a topper there also. I remember a friend of mine, in IMB, wearing a suit like this was considered to be a sign of campus placement. I mean, youngsters like you, just as you are wearing your t-shirts and jeans, somebody wearing a suit amongst you would be he's appearing for some kind of a campus placement. So we were having these pre-placements, the summer placements. And there was a good friend of mine, he has studied in IIT before coming to IIM, and he was topping in the class. And for 3 consecutive days, he was still wearing the suit, which was a sign that, he hadn't been selected for the pre-placement offers. Because what was happening was that, there probably his intellectual acumen was not being tested. There were some other qualities being tested. The point I am trying to make is both for, academically very high students and not so high students. I have been a good student myself, friend, but I just want to make this point very clear to you, that in real life, these academic things will be non-linear. You will find your friends who are good in communication, who are good in articulating things, who are good in working with people. They will be the ones who will, outsmart you in jobs. So there's no need to worry about grades. You can just sit and relax and continue to bunk Professor Sadagopan's classes. He will not get angry with you. The third thing I wanted to share with you was, all of you are students of IT and you work with computers, as do, most of us these days. But, life becomes cluttered with too many of these electronic gadgets. And just to share with you, Professor, there were days when I would come back home and I would see my wife working on one laptop, my 2 daughters working on somebody on iPod, somebody on. So I realized my home was getting very, very, gadget oriented. And so what did I do? I bought a puppy home. And, my daughter, who is 14 years old, she had been demanding it for a very long time, and we were but then I realized this is the time to do it, because the kids have got too infatuated with the gadgets in life. And you know what? The dog has actually made us more human. He has actually taught us to use the machines for our convenience, but not getting addicted to them. And the kind of love and happiness that you all of us actually receive when you go back home is kind of amazing. So the point that I'm trying to make is, try to take out some time for yourself away from these gadgets, because that is essential for your personal introspection and growth. Lastly, how many of us have driven past our fellow, we have driven across in bikes and in cars, right? And how many of us have realized that you go to the next traffic junction and you find the same guy whom you had. How many of us have done that? How many of us have seen that? Yeah? Many of us, yeah? So what happens is that, this is true with life as well. You overspeed, you drive, and you realize that after a point of time, either your health doesn't support you, or your relationships don't support you, and you realize that you are, at the same kind of a traffic junction where your friends are. So I would say that don't drive too fast in your life. Even if you want to drive fast in your life, don't break the traffic rules. Don't, just break the next red light, which, as I said earlier, are your health and your relationships. Finally, friends, I would just like to say that, this particular Yojana that the Pradhan Mantri has launched on 28th of August is all about empowering people with opening bank accounts. So this has got to do something about technology for people, and I have been arguing with the bankers for a very long time that why can't illiterate people use debit cards. I don't know how many of you are aware, but banks have internal policies whereby the debit cards are not issued to illiterate people. I have been contesting this because I fundamentally believe that all of us utilize technologies to our advantage, and we learn to use technologies. My point is that if it was so, then people would never have learned to use watches. Those who don't know how to read and write could possibly never have used watches. They could probably never have driven a bike in their lives. They would probably never have got to realize the petrol reading but they're all doing it. They're using mobile phones. And we did one experiment in Sabarkantha district in Gujarat where, illiterate tribals, they were actually taught part of it, but they learned to use the debit cards. So I am trying to, push this, and we have sort of made it mandatory for banks now to issue debit cards. And we particularly feel that, this is going to be a big game changer. It is something which is a very big risk. We have tried to educate people. But if there are, of course, people if they are not able to learn it and there are frauds, it can come back to us. So we are taking a risk, but we are confident that we will try and achieve the goal that we have set out for ourselves. So one thing that I was watching in the movie that you were showing was that, Professor Sadagopan remains as young as he was in 1999. And yours, friends, is a young institute. It has made a mark for itself. You will go out into this world with many advantages. The most important of it being your knowledge of English, and the second most important being your degree. My request to you on this 15th Foundation Day is to relive those ideals for which your institution was founded and contribute by your immense talent to the good of your fellow countrymen. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir.